I grew up in Brisbane with my mum and dad and my older sister, Rebecca, and younger brother, Luke. We grew up in the one house and stayed there right through childhood until we left home. So we were very family orientated. Sporty kids, obviously a sporty family. Luke and I would play a lot of football in the yard. I was a tomboy growing up, so my older sister was a little bit left out because Luke and I would, play football and tackle each other, and she was more into music. Mum and dad was working a lot. He'd come home around 6 o'clock at night and we'd have dinner together. Mum was a stay-at-home mum and very much, there for the three of us kids. But a really great childhood. I've got really good memories. Doing multiple sports growing up, did netball, bit of swimming, bit of karate, bit of tennis. But it was mainly Luke and I sort of in the same group because we were only a year apart. So yeah, it was all good fun back then. Growing up, I was about grade 6 and I made my first Queensland team for swimming. My dad was the swimming coach at our local school, and he would get us, up to go swimming training in the morning and the afternoon. But I think I was the only one of the three of us siblings that enjoyed it. I remember Luke running around the outside of the swimming pool and Dad chasing him to get in the water, whereas I would already be in the water and, started my laps. So training was something, no matter what sport I did, that I just loved. I was right into the sports side of things and, I'd go to school and I'd do my schoolwork, but I just couldn't wait to get out and go either netball training or tennis. I remember on a Saturday we'd go from swimming training to a tennis lesson to a netball game, and it was a favourite day of the week. I didn't even know really about triathlons until I left school. My mother passed away sadly just after I finished year 12, and swimming was something I'd always grown up with and she'd always been a big part of, and I was quite successful as a swimmer, but I sort of reached a point where I thought that the path had to change and just for me to move on and try and deal with the situation. I felt like I needed a change, but swimming was part of me and part of my life and I loved it. So Luke was dabbling, I think, in triathlons and school triathlons. So I went and watched him race one. And it was actually, I think he had a girlfriend in it. And I wasn't a big fan of hers and I watched her race and I thought, I can do better than that. So that was the start of something for me, yeah. I remember my first triathlon race was I think it was at Wynnum in Brisbane, and I led the swim out, no problem at all. Got on the bike, and I think I went back to about 42nd, and then the run, I think I ended up around 46th. So I was really devastated, but being so bad at it, it just was something that I had to get better at. So for me, I didn't like being beaten by that sport. I realised I wasn't very good on the bike and I realised I had a long way to go on my run, but it never crossed my mind that I couldn't be good at it, but it certainly laid it down a challenge that I really was up for, and so probably to say I was so bad at it that I wanted to become good at it was really my motivating factor.